These Russians in Ukraine, they are brutal, they are bad, and I think they're committing war crimes. This has got to be a war crime. You're going to see a truck run over a civilian vehicle. Watch. There's no way that was not deliberate. Then he backs up. Now you think the guy inside, whoever's inside that car, has to be dead, right? No, they survived. Take a look at this. There's triumph here. They actually get the guy out. The car is totally crushed, but somehow you see him in the middle there with the medical mask. He is alive. He's banged up, but he is alive. So, some horror in this war, obviously, some small triumph, but overall it's bad. So we're hearing from the president, Zelensky, he thinks that Russian troops will be entering Kyiv, the capital, maybe tonight. So everybody is getting out. So some scenes from inside the country, and the president, Zelensky, his family is said to be in hiding, but he's still in Kyiv. Quite frankly, this guy's showing a lot of grace under pressure. And he's indicating they're ready to negotiate.
Ми не боїмось нічого. Не боїмось, захищаючи нашу державу. Ми не боїмось Росії. Ми не боїмось говорити з Росією. Ми не боїмось говорити про все. Про гарантії безпеки для нашої держави. Не боїмось говорити про нейтральний статус.
That last part, that interests the Russians. Ukraine talking about neutrality. They're all talking about possibly meeting in Belarus to see if we can reach an agreement. They can reach an agreement. But right now, fighting continues. Zelensky, yeah, again, he is impressive. Now, this video, released a few hours ago, just the point of it seems to be showing that he is alive and that he is still in Kyiv. Contrast this to our president, Joe Biden, the goofiest, strangest demeanor in the heart of this crisis. No one can quite figure it out, and he has been wildly, wildly off message. Up until now, we heard deterrent would mean, hey, we don't want you guys to do this, right? Deterrent would mean Russia doesn't invade. Watch.
The purpose of the sanctions has always been and continues to be deterrence.
The purpose of the sanctions, in the first instance, is to try to deter Russia from going to war.
The president believes that sanctions are intended to deter.
They're meant to prevent and deter a large-scale invasion.
We want them to have a deterrent effect.
The sanctions are designed in the first instance to try to deter Russia from taking further aggression.
As well as our efforts to both try to deter Russia through sanctions.
If you pull the trigger on that deterrent, well, then it doesn't exist anymore as a deterrent.
All right, the message, deterrent, deterrent, deterrent. The sanctions were to deter Russia. Anyway, didn't work out that way, and Joe Biden is now completely at odds with all of his team.
Tonight, the president said this.
No one expected the sanctions to prevent anything from happening.
President Biden is also reiterating that American troops will not fight in Ukraine.
It's kind of interesting. It's wild that he said deterrent was not going to stop it. It was never meant to stop them. But the media just kind of said, he said this. No analysis, nothing more. Nothing more. I mean, if this were Trump, they would have lost their minds for 2 days straight, at least. And speaking of Trump, the American people understand that if he were president right now, none of this would be happening. 62% of Americans in a new poll, Harvard-Harris, believe that this would not be happening if Trump were still in office. So Hillary Clinton is out there trying to exploit the moment. Watch.
This is heartbreaking, but it's also dangerous. And I think it's time for what's left of the Republican Party that has any common sense, not just to say, okay, go help defend Ukraine against Putin, but to stand against those people in politics and government, in the media and elsewhere in our own country who are literally giving aid and comfort to an enemy of freedom and democracy.
You know, saying that people, critics of Democrats, are giving aid and comfort to the enemy, that is so Hillary Clinton to say something like that. This, as she exploits the moment. She sees that Joe Biden is weak. Here I am. When's the last time she showed up on morning television when she wasn't promoting a book or selling something? She is running for president. Also, here's an item. This inept Biden administration tried to get China to join our side. U.S. officials repeatedly urged China to help avert war in Ukraine. What did China do? They said, get lost. They rebuffed Americans, saying they did not think an invasion was in the works. And, oh, by the way, they shared the intelligence information with Russia. The stuff we gave them, they gave to Russia. How about that, huh? Hey, didn't Joe say that he was really tight with the Chinese? Remember when he bragged how well he knows them and how much they get along?
I've spent more time with Xi Jinping, at least before we got out, than any world leader has. I've traveled 17,000 miles with him, the president of China. I probably spent more time with Xi Jinping, I'm told, than any world leader has, because I had 24, 25 hours of private meetings with him when I was vice president, traveled 17,000 miles with him, and know him pretty well. I've spent more time.
And it goes on like this. It goes on and on and on like this. I don't understand it. At least I didn't until I read Miranda Devine's book. We thought he was just bragging, and it was weird. But no, there's a strategy here. The Chinese were not fooled. They understood implicitly the concept of guanxi, the Confucian system of personalized social networks and reciprocal obligations that is the foundation stone of Chinese culture going back thousands of years. Joe isn't talking to us. He's talking to potential clients who want to do business with China and the Chinese themselves. It's pretty wild. And now we are all less safe. China, without a doubt, has its eyes on Taiwan. They see the weakness that we have exhibited in Afghanistan. Now with the Ukraine situation, this is a huge opportunity for China to take back Taiwan. Tough times brought on, totally avoidable, by Joe Biden.